Parents kicked me out at 14 for bad grades. I went from homeless to building a six-figure business, but they tried to take credit in front of everyone, so I exposed all their abs. Hey everyone. Before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. I am 27, male. My parents kicked me out of the house because I got bad grades. Yeah, that's right. Though we have been living in the US for 2 generations, my parents have not learned anything from American parents about how to raise a child. My parents have literally screwed my entire childhood obsessing over my school grades. They think good grades are the only way to make a successful life. To make it worse, my sister, who is a year older than me, is a class topper, so I was constantly subjected to comparison in school as well as at home. The situation was better until elementary school. I used to get A's in most subjects. My sister graduated elementary school with an A+ and topped the class, while I got an A and was nowhere in the list of top 10. That was the beginning of my parents' disappointment. In middle school, after every exam result, parents would sit with my sister's last year's grade card and compare it with mine. As this game of comparison started, my grades started dwindling further. With every dip in my scores, my parents' rage soared. From A's in elementary school, my grades went south to B's and C's. My parents lost their minds with every dipping grade. Except for hitting me, they did all sorts of things to punish me. They made me kneel down for several hours without food and water. They would starve me on the evening before the exams so that I could focus on my studies. A month before the exams, they would rip me off my video games, cage me at home, not allow me to go out to play, and not give me ice creams, chocolates, or any of my favorite foods. Whenever I asked them for anything, their response would be, "Get good grades, then you'll get this." Eventually, I stopped asking for anything, knowing I wouldn't get it. My parents run a grocery store on the back street. My grandparents were immigrants in this country. Grandfather worked as a daily wage laborer and grandmother as a janitor. They worked 2 jobs each to raise my father and my 2 uncles. My father had to quit his studies early on to support his family. He has been working since he was 11. A similar story runs in my mother's family too. Mom and Dad worked very hard in their teenage years and 20s to save money and start this small grocery store on the corner of the street. They think that getting good grades is the only way to bring them out of poverty. We are not as poor as they portray. Typical Asian thing of saving for a rainy day and starving on the current day. While I appreciate all their hard work and their faith in the education system, they overdid it. School grades barely matter until you don't have to repeat a year, and repeating a year is not that bad. It just pulls you behind your peers by a year, but that's okay. By torturing a kid at such a tender age, they were setting me up for imminent failure. As a kid, I genuinely used to work hard to match up to my sister's grades, but somehow I couldn't. I struggled with memorizing stuff efficiently, like my sister. However, I was good in calculations which didn't require mugging up. But as my parents' punishments got severe, I turned rebellious. I deliberately skipped my classes and loitered in the playground. I would fill my exam papers with stupid jokes and song lyrics to annoy them even more. They grounded me by locking me up in a basement with my books and only released me when I completed my lessons on weekends and vacations. I was not allowed to play outside. All my video games and comics were seized, and new ones were never bought. But I was a smart kid. Whatever they did, I found a way to sneak out. My parents went to the grocery store in the morning and only came at night, so I used to spend the whole day playing outside. When my parents got to know that I was sneaking out in their absence, they started taking me with them to the store on the weekends and during the summer vacations. It was supposed to be a punishment for me, but it turned out to be something I started enjoying. I loved interacting with people, helping them decide which brand they should buy, and taking care of the bill counter. This didn't go down well with my parents. They didn't want me to run their grocery store. They wanted me to become a doctor or engineer. Anything less than that would mean bringing disgrace to an Asian family. One day, I casually said that I wanted to be a salesman because I'm quite good at closing sales. My parents were horrified to hear this because, according to them, only uneducated people do sales jobs. Since they were spending so much money on my education, I should do a respectful job, which was either a doctor or engineer. All this went on until I pushed all their buttons by scoring an F grade in my freshman year at high school. My parents lost their minds that I had to repeat a year. They were done with all their punishments. They blew right on my face as if I had done some heinous crime. There was nothing left to punish me except for hitting me. They did everything to apparently bring me on the right track. The verbal abuse and mental trauma reached its peak. They said I brought shame to the house, and they cannot take the embarrassment I have inflicted upon the family. They threw me out of the house and said I was on my own, and that I should never return home even if I died of hunger and cold. I was devastated. Though I was a notorious kid, I never thought of running away from home. I was not at all prepared for this. My parents didn't let me socialize, so I didn't have many friends to ask for help. I was either locked up at home or taken to the grocery store for a helping hand. When the initial fear of living on the streets subsided, I felt a sense of freedom. I felt so much relief to be able to do what I wanted. The first night, I slept on a bench in an open park. The next day, I went downtown searching for a salesman job. I knew I was good at sales. I went from store to store asking if they had any vacancies. After trying my luck at nearly a dozen stores, I landed a job at a beauty store. It wasn't easy either. I didn't have any qualifications or prior experience, but the store owner needed staff urgently, so he gave me the task of selling an expensive lipstick as an add-on to a customer who was there just for a night cream. I don't know how, but I was able to do that. The owner thought I was passionate and cute to be able to sell makeup to young women, so he hired me. The pay was low, but he gave me a place to sleep. Later, as the sales increased, I asked for the commission on each sale I made. That was the beginning of my journey to become a successful businessman. My parents thought that making me work at their grocery store was a punishment. Little did they know that it was actually helpful for me. It gave me real-life experience. I wish they realized my potential and understood that practical experience is far more valuable than mindlessly swatting academic information. After that, I hopped jobs for better pay. One of my employers even offered to bear my college expenses, but I declined. I had something else in mind. I wanted to start my own venture. At the age of 21, I started my own company, which provides support and sales services to other small businesses. My company closes sales for other product-based companies. We generate sales and revenue for them, and they pay us hefty commissions. My company has projects from across all verticals of products, from credit cards to insurance, cosmetics to books. We are tied up with all sorts of companies. It didn't blow up in a day or a year. It took more than 5 years to get stable. I started it with 5 people for just one client, which sold mattresses and pillows. Now we are a company of 200 sales agents helping some 50-plus companies sell thousands of products. Enough of mambo jumbo. Coming to the point, my mom has been stalking me over the last few weeks. She has started following me on Facebook and Instagram. I have an open account, and she's going inside my profile and liking my old pictures and posts. I don't know if she's deliberately trying to show her presence or if she's doing it by mistake. While zooming into my picture, one thing is for sure. They are mesmerized by my lifestyle. They thought me to be a loser who would never be able to do anything in life without good grades, but here I'm making 6 figures a month. A week ago, she texted me that she missed me and asked me to come home. I saw her message and left her on scene. She is showering praises on me as to how proud they are to see their son, me, successful in life. She is now pestering me to visit her. The thing is, no matter how much I ignore her messages, I can't stop thinking about them and my childhood trauma. I badly want to give it back to them for all the humiliations they have put me through. I want to go home and flash my successful life on their face. But on the other hand, my girlfriend is of the opinion that I should stay away from them and not get trapped in their emotional net. She thinks that they would eventually guilt trip me to extort money from me. What do you guys think I should do? Update 1. Hello all, this is going to be hilarious. Despite my girlfriend heating me against meeting my parents, the part of me wanting to rub my success on their face got stronger, so I showed up at their door. Dad wasn't home, but Mom and sister were waiting for me. Dad is still ignorant of my success. He thinks I'm making money by duping innocent people and doesn't want to be associated with me. Mom apologized to me and said that I had to suffer because of Dad's old school beliefs in scoring good grades for life. It was funny how Mom made Dad the scapegoat, while she was also in tandem with Dad and torturing me. I pointed out that she was stricter in punishing me. She brushed it off, saying she was just following Dad's instructions as a good wife. When I further tried to put her on the spot, she laughed out loud and said it was tales of a century ago, and I should move on and we should reunite as a family. A happy family. It seems I asked my sister about her life. She said she has completed her master's in literature, but is struggling to get a teaching job because of her poor communication and social skills. Though I knew the reason behind her poor people skills, I pretended to be curious and asked her why her excellent grades failed to get a job. She blamed our parents for her failure. She has literally spent her entire life locked in a room and studying in order to obey and impress our parents. She pushed herself to the extreme and immersed herself in books. She was a year older than me, so I knew how isolated she used to be in school. She barely had any friends. Mom didn't let her have any because, according to her, white kids were bad in studies and a bad influence. Do you see the problem here? Despite working so hard all her life, she is unable to secure a job, even if someone is hiring her based on her qualifications. Her poor communication and social skills are costing her a job. Seeing her condition, I feel glad that I was a rebel, else I would have also landed a similar fate like her. They also wanted to keep me isolated and not let me mingle with other kids and just focus on studies. How wrong were they? My sister joined me in bashing my mother for their poor parental skills. Mom started sobbing and very cleverly shifted all the blame on Dad. After we were done blaming Mom for our traumatic childhood, I asked her why she called me. She went on and on flattering me about how proud she was to see my success. The truth was, she had no clue what I was doing. Like I said earlier, to an Asian parent, the definition of success is a doctor, engineer, or a high-paying job at the bank at the least. They don't understand entrepreneurship. To them, running any business is the same as running a grocery store, which they look down upon. Sitting in that house brought back so many memories of my childhood, when I was convinced by my parents that I would end up living on the streets like a loser. They even manipulated me to think that I was mentally unfit and that there was a problem in me that I was unable to score A+. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. My parents even took me to a therapist because they thought I had a problem focusing on studies. After 2 to 3 sessions, the therapist bashed my parents for unnecessarily pressurizing me to study and said I was a very normal kid with a normal IQ according to my age. My girlfriend bet that my mom had invited me to ask for money. She lost the bet because mom didn't ask for any money. But from her behavior, it is evident that money demand is on the way. Since then, my mom is constantly checking on me, and whenever her text pops up, my girlfriend puts a $1 bet that it is about money. LOL, I'm winning every single bet because mom hasn't asked for the money yet. But I think I'm soon going to lose the bet because mom has invited me for dinner this weekend. I know she is trying to paint a rosy picture of herself before asking for anything. I just got a text that she is arranging a dinner for me this weekend. I'll update about this in my next post. I have to rush now. Bye. Update 2. Hey all, I got my sweet revenge on my parents. I don't think they are ever going to call me again after this humiliation. In my last post, I mentioned mom's text inviting me for dinner. I responded that I was busy and couldn't make it. Yes, I was acting prickly when she further insisted. I asked her why she was acting so sweet to me when dad still thinks that I'm making money through illegal means. She said that it was dad who was organizing the dinner for me as a gesture to make up things with me. She said that dad is proud of me and wants to apologize to me in person. I asked, what do you mean by organizing? It's just the 4 of us, right? She said no, they are calling all the close friends and relatives living nearby. I said, sure, I'll be there. I couldn't get a better opportunity to avenge my childhood trauma. Mom asked me to be in my best attire and reach on time. The rebellious kid in me got activated. I wore my gym sweatshirt with my trekking shorts with a cap on top of that. I showed up 2 hours late. It's a great deal for an Asian parent. Wearing shorts at a social gathering is like a crime to them. Mom continuously called me, but I didn't respond. I just sent a couple of texts that I would be late. No reason, no explanation. I'm sure that would have pissed off my parents. They have a thing to show themselves as the perfect people. If any guests were to arrive at my house, my parents would spend at least 2 days cleaning every corner of the house, making a list of food items the guests would be served, and each item of the house would be placed in the perfect place. The guests would be served in the best china set, and if they stayed over, they would be offered the best bed sheets, pillows, and everything. They say it's our culture to treat our guests supremely, but some bit of it they overdo to get social validation. My parents had booked one rooftop section of the restaurant. When I arrived in such casual wear, I definitely got a look since I'm earning more than anyone else present there. That look was masked with a fake smile of appreciation. My parents were also pissed off, but they didn't express it. They hugged me and raised a toast to me, singing praises about me. This was the first time Dad ever hugged me. Not comforting at all. I felt resentful. The way they behaved made me question myself if I was the jerk to think them to be wrong all this while. They are imposters. The hall was filled with people, and for a moment I thought of silently bearing it and having my dinner and leaving. But the way they were showing off my success as theirs pissed me off. They were bragging about my success, my possessions, and my fancy lifestyle. And guess what? They were taking all the credit for shaping me into a good human being. My outspoken aunt intervened and said, "Didn't you guys throw him out of the house?" I burst out in laughter, clapping at her courage. My parents' faces were flustered in embarrassment, but they were quick to cover it up, saying that it was a means to bring me on the right track, and that it was because of their punishment that I was able to do good in life. I lost my marbles when they said this. I was like, that's right, guys. I owe all my success to my toxic parents, and you know what's the best decision they have ever taken for me? Kicking me out of the house to live on the streets. Yeah, that's right. You're so confidently claiming that you always knew I would make it big. It's kind of funny because I remember a different version. Didn't you used to say that I would end up being a loser, homeless, drug addict, and worse, a criminal? Wow. Remember how you all deprived me of a family vacation as a punishment for my poor grades? You used to lock me home for a whole week with so limited food. I was locked in the basement without proper ventilation for hours and was asked to complete my lessons there. You are right. All these were necessary to make me a better person. Maybe everyone in this room should do the same to their child to make them successful. UCF, this is a secret sauce of success, you know? It was such a monologue. I would say the grudge and the pain that had piled up inside me for years just blew out. My mom tried to intervene in between, but I shrugged her off and continued my rant. My sister tried to calm me down, rubbing my arms, but I was beyond anyone's control. My parents were in tears. Plus, no, they would have preferred death over this embarrassment in front of the whole community, but I care less about their reputation. My sister was also bawling, standing beside me. Some of you commented on, how could I have a soft corner for my sister when she never stood up for me as an elder sister? Well, I don't blame her at all. She was a kid just like me. She was just a year older. My parents did more harm to her than me. At least I was able to rebel and enjoy my life, sneak out to play, and have also made a better life for myself. She has lost her spine by obeying our parents. She never got to enjoy her childhood. Even now she's struggling with low confidence and has been living with parents. I have offered her a job in my company. She has even taken personality development classes, but it is not helping much. I suggested her to start working in my company and develop some soft skills, and then she can decide a career for herself. I have cut off all ties with my parents. I told Mom not to contact me ever and that I was talking to her only to take my revenge on them. I have blocked her. I'm intending to be in touch with my sister. My sister patted me for exposing our parents. She said that this was the best revenge I could pull on my parents because they don't care about money or anything else other than their reputation as the perfect parents in front of the community. After that dinner night, some of my family friends and relatives reached out to me saying how sorry they were to hear about my struggle. I said I didn't reveal my parents' truth to gain any sympathy. I just wanted everyone to know that cornering your child for grades would do them more harm than any good, and we have us as examples of bad parenting. Now on to the next story. Story 2. Cheated on my husband. He pretended to forgive me, then made me feel what he felt. Now he's leaving me for the woman he used to make me jealous. I'm 30F, cheated on my husband 27M. He's taking it well, but I feel he resents me. I know I did something awful and disgusting, and when I couldn't take the guilt anymore, I cut off my affair partner and confessed everything to my husband. He got more upset and depressed than angry, and I begged him not to divorce me. I proposed counseling, therapy, even allowing him to have sex with other women, but he wasn't interested. He said he wanted to try to work us out, and I jumped in being the best wife a man can ask for. I cook his favorite dishes, leave him loving notes, and bought new lingerie to entice him. His reactions are at best polite. He smiles and thanks me, but not once has he said he loves me since I have confessed. He barely appreciates anything, and I basically have to push myself on him. Not that he complains. Sometimes we talk about this, but I think I still lost the man I love. His behavior with me feels very artificial and nothing changes. His facade, I can be playful, I can be sad, I can get angry, and I can get seductive. His reaction is always this stupid smile and polite words. He was so emotional and sincere before all of this happened. I want him to let out his true emotions with me, even if he hates me. I still love him so much. What can I do to fix this? Is this a troll post? If not, please share some details. How long have you been together and how long was the affair? Who is the other man? Coworker. OP. We have been married for 5 years. My affair lasted a couple of months and it was with a client. 628. Okay, thank you. What do you mean by cutting off the affair? Is this person still a client? Do you have to have business contact with him? Are you seeing a therapist? Do you know why you strayed? OP. I ended my relationship with the client and passed his contract to a coworker. No contact ever since. I've been doing individual therapy. I don't know why I did all this. My body felt like it was on autopilot. Update 1. He knows I cheated. We didn't separate, and I begged him to not divorce and let me fix this. He agreed, but his behavior since my confession has basically been one of indifference. Like I wrote on my last post, I do my best to be the best wife he could ask for. I cook his favorite foods, get him gifts, screw his brains out every night. He just smiles and thanks me. He acts kind and never yells at me, but I feel his icy indifference under that mask of courtesy. 2 weeks ago, he started coming home late. Very, very late. When he does, he just goes to bed. I asked him what's going on, and he told me in the kindest way possible that it's not my business. I call him when he stays out, and he picked up only once. I heard a woman laughing in the background. I am starting to think he is cheating back on me. It hurts. If he told me, at least I would do my best to stomach it. I deserve this after all, but he won't tell me. He just shuts me out. A common friend told me she spotted him in a car with a woman she didn't recognize, and this felt like a stab in the heart. She said she couldn't describe her exactly, because she wore big sunglasses, but she recognized my husband because of his particular taste in neckties. They were talking, but my friend said that from their position it looked like they were holding their hands, or one of them was touching the other's lap. I don't know what to do. If he is having an affair, I deserve it, but I need to know. The uncertainty is killing me. Should I confront him? Should I try to find out more? Update 2. He left me. I did like you guys said and begged him to talk to me. He didn't want to, but I cried and yelled so much I puked all over. He got softer with me. He helped me clean up and we talked. I asked him if he was cheating on me, and he said he was talking with someone but didn't do anything with her. I asked if she was the woman my friend saw him with. He thought on it a little but said no. It was another woman whom he met a month ago in his office. I asked him how could he and said I gave him permission, and he didn't do anything besides unloading his problems in our situation with her, but he played it like he was having a full affair, so I could feel what he felt. According to him, I neglected him and made it obvious I was cheating on him. He said he was suffering and I was almost rubbing it in his face. I told him I wasn't doing it on purpose, and he said this was even worse because I didn't care at all. He said that everything I did after confessing meant nothing, and just made him think I am selfish, self-centered, and lack any sort of self-respect. I asked him if we could work on myself and our marriage, but he said we can have counseling to sort ourselves out, but the marriage is over. He said he wishes no ill on me and decided to cut his care aid because he could no longer bear to see the woman he once loved suffer like that. But he said, I am no longer that woman. I started sobbing again, and he held me, but he kept saying no when I asked him if we could work this out. I asked him what he was going to do when he's moving out. He already found a new place. I asked him if he was going to live with that woman, and he said but she was close enough. I asked him how he could pick a total stranger he met a month ago over his wife of 5 years. He said his wife of 5 years no longer exists. He has to pick between two strangers, and that woman made a much better impression on him. I told him he was a fool, and he could not know this woman will probably use and dump him. He got harsh and said she's better than me, for sure. He said he won't say to our families our marriage ended because I cheated, but because we grew apart, and that he will leave the house to me as long as I make the divorce smooth. But if I try to take him to the cleaners, drag it out, or cause any problem, he will tell everyone what I did and destroy me and my reputation. This happened yesterday, and he has already packed up almost everything. I can't stop crying, and I can't believe this is happening. This is horrible and unfair. One last comment from OP. You guys are right saying that I suck, but he is at fault too. He never really wanted to fix this. He used me for months and then discarded me. Yet I want him back and forgive and forget all the hurt we done to each other. As for his girl, I don't think she will be good for him. Update 3. Got served divorce papers today. This feels like a nightmare. I keep telling myself it's not real, and I'm going to wake up. My husband moved out 2 weeks ago, ostensibly to live with another woman, but I kept eyeing his actions and had some friends tell me he was going on, and seemingly there was no other woman at all. I hoped he was just collecting his thoughts and that he would come back to me, but today he did it. He had me served. I don't want to believe he is done with us. I love him so much, and I miss him every day.